Hey everybody, welcome to CIS 1200 for fall 2024. Hi, I'm Eric Chernesky. Nice to meet you. Hopefully you had a chance to Google me. I'm the only Eric Chernesky in the world. Pretty easy to find. So that's me. You can find my biography and things online. Not super interesting. This is my OCC email address. Email me here if you want to email. This is my cell phone. I do have a desk phone in my office at Orchard Ridge, but just use my cell phone. It's way easier. And then for office hours, if you want to meet, chat about anything tech, chat about the class, about the program that you're in, really anything. I've got appointments you can make here on the Calendly page. So click this link. It'll take you to Calendly. You pick a day and you pick a given time. Mondays, 11 to noon. Tuesdays, 1 to 2:30. Wednesdays, just in the evening. And Thursdays, 2:30 to 4. I think I must already have some things booked there. It's linked to my calendar, so it'll book things. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10:30 to 11:30 p.m. For those people who are up late like I am. I get most of my work done after my kids are in bed. I've got 7 kids at home, so it's kind of noisy around here. But if you call me, I'll try and answer. If I'm busy, I won't be able to answer. Leave me a voicemail. Tell me what time is good to call back. Or feel free to text. I also text a lot. Usually I meet people on Zoom, so that way you don't have to drive in. Saves everyone a drive, and it works out pretty nice. If you do want to meet in person, let me know. We can arrange that. But the campus isn't open for the late night hours, but one of the daytime hours we could figure something out. I also have a Discord server if you like Discord. The link's over in D2L and the course information as well. I think I saw a couple people pop in already. So Discord's great. You can send me messages there or post questions in the class-specific channel. I really like that because if you have a question, I'm sure someone else in the class has that exact same question. And rather than getting like 3 texts or messages about it or emails about it, one person asks in Discord, I answer once, and then everybody gets to see it. So it's pretty nice. And way better technology than these old discussion forums. We do have like a question and answers forum in discussions here. If you'd like to use that, you're welcome to do it. A couple of people got in there for books, things like that. So whatever you prefer, I'm pretty flexible. This is our section. This is a 12-week course. So usually our classes here are 15 weeks long, but we're doing a 4-credit class in 12 weeks. So think of it kind of like a 5-credit class. So plan for about 5 hours a week of class material, whether or not that's videos or assignments or things we will be doing in person, and then 10 hours a week of additional time, right? So that is your reading that you're doing in the textbook, that's homework that you have assigned that you're not doing in class, that's other studying that you need to do. So it's about a 15-hour a week commitment here across the 12 weeks. 15 times 12 should be about 180 hours. That's typically what you'd get for a 4-credit class in a 15-week semester. And this is online asynchronous, so there are due dates for things, but you pick when you want to do them throughout the week. So every week, new content will release at 8 in the morning on Thursdays, and then stuff will be due the following Thursday, 8 a.m. So anytime in that week, you can work on the material there. And this is our D2L site. You should have all done the tutorial for D2L before you sign up for an online class. This is a copy-paste of the catalog description. Shouldn't be anything interesting and new here. It might not even make a lot of sense yet till we actually get to the content, so I won't bother reading that to you. There's no prereq for the class. All classes at OCC have some sort of general education outcome. We've got a couple different general education outcomes that we look at. Ours specifically is looking at applying knowledge to the assigned task. This is critical thinking here. Right? We want to be able to think creatively, innovatively, analyze, synthesize, and apply information. This is really the hard part of information technology. Just figuring out how a tool works. Anybody can learn that, but using the tool to solve problems, that's where critical thinking comes into play, and being able to apply your knowledge to the given task. For the specific course outcomes, we've got 8 things we're looking at here, and they're probably not going to make a whole lot of sense till we get there, so I won't bother reading those either, but we'll get to all of these throughout the semester. And then, of course, goals, again, things that we're looking for at the end here. For our textbook, I think most of you have found it already. This is Database Systems version 13 by Coronel. This is the ISBN number for the physical book. This is the ISBN number for the digital book. If you go and just search this on Amazon, you're welcome to do that, and it'll show you the book here. If you go to the Oakland CC bookstore, you can also search it here. We've got it available as well at the OCC bookstore. It's not associated with the class yet. We had a little bit of an issue getting it linked to the class because the class was added late after the semester had already started. And honestly, I forgot to tell the bookstore. I sort of assumed they would just use the same book other classes had, but the bookstore said, no, you have to tell us what book you want, even though it's the same class. But okay, sure. So it's not linked to our class, but you can go find it if you search by ISBN number. So you can rent it, either physical copies or digital copies, or you can buy physical copies or a digital copy as well. I'm sorry, it's crazy expensive. I don't recommend buying the new book itself, right? Just renting is probably your best option here, and digital is relatively cheap. It's not free or anything, but it's not too bad of a deal here. That's our textbook. We're going to use 2 different tools throughout the semester. Later on, we'll start with the SQL Developer Data Modeler from Oracle. This is a free tool that you can download. You have to agree to Oracle's licensing, which says don't give it to people, like make them go download it to the site, and we're not doing anything that we're going to make money off of. So we're pretty good to use this for educational purposes. And the next one is their Apex Enterprise Database Management System. Oh, database is in here twice here. DBMS is Database Management System. That's just a web-based platform that we can interact with Oracle databases without having to install everything on our computer. It's a little bit clunky, but I promise it's way nicer than trying to install Oracle on your computer. Well, that's a free tool as well, so I'll get you links for that. Specific course policies. I'm a bit of a stickler about this one because people who cheat should not get college degrees. It's in all of our best interests for that to happen, because if someone cheats their way through school and then they get a job because the employer thinks they probably know what they're doing, have learned a couple things in school, and then they suck at their job because they never learned anything, they're not going to want to hire other OCC graduates. So please don't help people cheat. Don't let people cheat off of you, and you don't have to tell me someone else is cheating, although I wish you would. It's bad for everyone for people to cheat and pass. So if you don't want to take the class, don't take the class. Right? If you already know all the stuff, just go take the final exam and test out. Right? You don't need to sit here for 12 weeks and waste all of our time cheating. Okay. Now, that being said, I am aware of sites like Chegg.com, and they have all sorts of material out there. Any use of Chegg or similar websites like Course Hero or whatever are considered academic misconduct. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We look at the Code of Conduct. You can't post college material on Chegg.com without violating the policy. So don't even go there. Just stay off of Chegg. They're getting sued by one of the big publishers, and I hope they both lose, because I hate Pearson as well, because they take all of our money. And then I know tools like ChatGPT exist. It's actually a really cool tool. Now, just like when you write an English paper, though, you can't just turn in one big quote. You can't take the assignment, give it to ChatGPT, and give back what it spit out. Right? Even if you cite your source, like you just can't turn in the paper that's a giant quote here. So, like an English paper, you have to have the bulk of the work being your original effort. You have to be adding original work to the things that you cite. So if you want to ask ChatGPT, hey, how do you do this one specific thing for the project? Great, that's fine. We'll cite your source. I'll show you how you can do that. I'm okay with that. You can't just give me a solution from ChatGPT, even if you cited your source, because you didn't add any work to it here. So again, learning to use it and using it for specific scenarios is great. It can do a lot of things, but it can't do everything. And if we don't actually learn how to do the stuff, you have no way of knowing if what ChatGPT gave you is correct or not. So then you really don't know what's happening, because it's all magic. So we have to learn what it's doing and learn to understand what it's going to give us to help us be more efficient. Right? All good programmers are lazy people. Right? I'm very lazy in that I don't like to do more work than I need to. So if there's a tool that helps me be more efficient and helps me work faster, I love it. That's a fantastic tool. I can get more things done and be more productive. And that's what we're seeing with ChatGPT kind of tools in the industry. They're helping people be more efficient at their job, but there's still work that has to happen. There's still that human element, all that critical thinking of actually, what am I really doing here and how am I applying these things? Okay, so for the OCC handbook here. So this piece here is why things like Chegg.com, the acquisition without permission of tests or other academic material or distribution of the same is a violation or considered academic dishonesty. So distributing academic material is a violation of the policy. You can't go post something on Chegg here. It's just not allowed. We can't do that. And then if someone just says, hey, they just want to see how you did it, they're not going to copy off you, just tell them to get lost. Students who aid and abet, which is such a funny term here, but if you gave someone your material, your project, because they just wanted to look at it and they copied off of you, you both fail, which is not fun. So the policy for engaging in academic dishonesty is failing the course. There is no 0 on the assignment. There is no try again. It is a 0 tolerance policy. If I catch you cheating, you will fail the class and get reported to the dean's office. I don't put up with it. It's not worth any of our times. I get all upset because it's a ton of paperwork I have to fill out. This is a big long form, and I have to give you all this documentation to my dean, and then he has to do a bunch of stuff, and there's meetings, and it's not worth the time. Okay, so please just don't. Now, if you're not sure, ask me. Up until the point that you turn something in and say, okay, here's my assignment, I'm willing to work with you. Right? Just ask me questions. Say, hey, Eric, I looked up this thing. How do I cite it here? Or, I found this and I want to kind of rework it here, and we'll talk to you about it. I'm a royal person, apparently. I don't know why I call myself we. I'm sorry. I'm a little crazy. Okay, and then the student code of conduct, this is a copy paste. Make sure you keep the classroom corridors quiet. It's an online class, but again, it's in our syllabus template, sorry. All right, what everyone cares about, your grading here. So I use a weighted system. So each individual category is worth a certain percentage of your overall score in the class. So the weekly discussions that we have, these are sort of like if you're sitting in class and be like, hey, work with your neighbor to do this. That's the idea with these weekly discussions. So we're going to pair up with somebody, or you're going to post something and you're going to reply to somebody. You work with a neighbor, essentially. That's worth 10% of your class. We do this almost every week. We've got a discussion to work on. Discussions, you have the whole week to reply for your first post. To do your first post. And then you have a week later to reply. Now, ideally, everything happens in that first week, but usually when there's a due date, everyone waits until like an hour before the due date to actually do their first post, and then it's really hard to get replies in the same week. So we've got the second week for replies if we need it, but we're already moving on to new content that next week. So try and keep them in the first week if possible, but if you need a little time on the replies, you got a little time there. We've got individual projects, 3 projects that we'll be doing that make up 30% of your overall score in the class. We have quizzes on every chapter. That makes up 10%. They are open book, open notes quizzes. The goal here is that you actually read the book. Right? That's really why I have quizzes. You don't need to memorize the book. Just read the book, more than just looking for the bold words and just, skimming what the paragraphs are. But you don't need to memorize everything, but you need to have actually read it so that when a question comes up, you're like, oh, maybe I don't remember that, but I know it's over here and I can go look it back up in the book. Okay, that's what we got to do for the quizzes, and that's why we have them. We have one exam, just a midterm exam. Again, it's open book, open notes. I've never had an employer ask me to do something from memory because that would be stupid. Nobody can memorize everything. So I don't want you to memorize things. I want you to know about stuff. I've talked about that. I understand. I remember some of this, but I don't know all the fine details. Let me go look up at the syntax. Let me go look up, here's the particular command I need to use, that sort of stuff. And then I'll give you a sample midterm. We have to rewrite these every semester, not because you folks do it, but other people have put stuff out on Chegg and things like that. So we rewrite the exams every year, every semester. So I'll give you last semester's exam last time I taught the course's exam. You can see what it looks like a practice one essentially, and then we'll have the midterm. And then we have one final project. This is kind of the sum of everything we do in the class. So the last couple weeks of class, we do this final project. It's worth 40% of your score. You cannot pass the class without this final project. It's on purpose. So everything we do builds up to this final project. It's a nice big thing that we work on, a big database project that we work on. It's a lot of fun. I think it's fun because databases are cool, but okay, sure. I can give you a WS up until the point that you present your final project. That's like our final exam, if you ask me. I need an email from your official student email, and I can give you a WS anytime up until you've presented the final project. If you go all the way through the class, present the final project, and then you don't like your grade, it's too late to drop, unfortunately. But up until you present, you can ask for a WS. If not, here's the letter scale. This should be standard now from everywhere. Pretty sure I copy-pasted that. For N grades, or being reported as non-attendant, if you don't turn in gradable work, which thankfully I have a syllabus quiz in week 1 and a chapter 1 quiz in week 1, there's gradable work the first week. So turn it in the first week and you're fine. Otherwise, I have to report you as non-attendant. And if you're on financial aid, you're likely to get dropped from the class and then not get your financial aid, and all sorts of bad stuff happens. If you're not on financial aid, it doesn't matter. You're welcome to just pay for a class and not show up. OCC will take your money. Sure. I don't take things late without prior written approval. I usually go over solutions. So once the due date is in, the next week we'll have the solution. So when it's due at 8 a.m., that means that 8 a.m. I'll be posting a solution out there. So I can't take it late from you. So please plan ahead for that. And then copy paste of all of our standard policies. This is FERPA. I won't tell anybody anything about you. If you ask about grades, I'll say go look at D2L. For the Americans with Disabilities Act, if you need any sort of accommodations due to a disability, please contact the Access Office and they will talk to me. I'll get some official paperwork on file, and then I'm happy to work with you as needed. Our Academic Support Center is one of my favorite things about OCC. We have an entire department dedicated to academic support and student success, and they offer tutoring, no additional charge. I don't like the word free because your tuition and tax dollars pay for it, but There is no additional charge tutoring, and you can schedule hour-long appointments with our tutors, which are fantastic. So not everybody tutors for $1,200, but Miss Reka is fantastic. She's been with us for a long time, knows tons of stuff about databases. She's awesome. Jordan is great, knows a lot about databases. I've had him in some of my classes before. And Tim is fantastic as well. He's been a long-time tutor with us, so he can tutor for our class as well. So we got lots of varied availability between them. For virtual appointments, Tim is at Orchard Ridge, 9 to 1, it looks like, for tutoring as well. So get in touch with them. They can get you in contact and get those scheduled. We've got a student technical help desk for technical issues there. For D2L issues, call D2L. That's like the website's not working. If it's content related, that's me. Here's for accessibility standards. You should be able to navigate the web, use basic word processing, presentation, basic file management, and attachments. Those are all basic computer skills you probably should have before you take this class. Our technology appropriate use regulations, you agree to this all the time when you log into things, but don't do stupid stuff with college resources or you'll lose access to those college resources. And it's really hard to do online stuff if we don't let you in online. For netiquette, just be kind. You can take a look at the link. There's all sorts of guidelines here. I'm not very formal here, so I don't care about that, but I care that you're kind. I don't put up with any sort of harassment or bullying. We have a great public safety department. You can check out their resources as well, but given that we're online, about the only thing we'll get is like online harassment or bullying. We'd have to get them involved. And then our libraries. We have so many cool resources through our library here. Their research database is one of my favorite things here. So we have this through O'Reilly for Higher Education is the coolest thing we have access to. You log in with your OCC credentials, and basically any book O'Reilly has published, and they're a huge technical publisher, you've got access to through our library. So if there's anything you want to know about anything in IT, and they've also got other like business things and a couple other categories as well, but mostly I care about all the IT stuff. We can just go search. So let's search, hey, I want to know about database management systems. And we can go look it up here. And because they're always publishing stuff, right, we can filter like, hey, how long ago was this here? But everything is relatively recent. Like, hey, within the last year, there's 1,900 things out here, right? And we can see, here's all the cool things we can get out here. So tons of other resources. Now, it's a lot, right? I'm not going to recommend you go out and read 536 pages here, but you can go check out some of this stuff, and it's super cool. We got access to it for free through our library because we asked them for good resources, and they gave it. So my goal is to have things graded within a week of the due date. If you found me on Rate My Professor, I've had a lot of trouble with that. Always things seem to come up having 7 kids and having health issues and chronic illnesses. But that's the goal, is to get stuff graded within a week of the due date. Not a week of when you turn it in, but a week of the due date. So after everyone has it turned in, then I'll work on getting it graded here. For email or other contact response, if you haven't heard from me within 24 hours, please reach out again. I might have just lost it in the pile there. Usually you hear back from me in a couple hours. Like any good millennial, I'm addicted to my phone. It's always in my pocket unless my little guy is watching YouTube Kids on my phone. So you should hear back from me relatively quick. Give me up to 24 hours. Please ask again. Reach out again if you haven't heard from me. I like talking with people. That's why I got into teaching. So I like when people reach out and I have a chance to have a conversation with them. All right, and then our tentative course schedule. So our syllabus, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. We skip over 5, 6, 7, 8. We skip over 9. We get to 10. We skip 11 and 12. We get 13, 14. We skip 15. We get a little bit of 16. So for these later topics here, 13, 14, and 16, we're only sort of scratching the surface. We've got advanced classes where you can get really into what data warehousing is, business intelligence is. There's a whole class on big data and NoSQL. And we got a whole class on database administration here. So we're just sort of introing those topics as we go. Transaction management we'll get into a little bit. Did I mess up Thanksgiving break? I feel like I messed up Thanksgiving break now. Oakland CC. I really thought I looked this up here. No, academic calendar. Oh, look at that. I searched it often enough and knew what I meant here. Thanksgiving break. Oh no, the 25th through the 30th. 25th through the 30th. Yes, so we are not on break the 21st. I will change that. We're on break the 28th. I'm sorry about that. I'll go fix that in just a minute. It looked weird now that I came back to it here. But we get into those topics. So our midterm is a little bit later in the semester. We get through the chapters 1 through 8, except for 5, get in through SQL. Then we get to the advanced topics after the midterm, and we start the final project. So we'll have a month for the final project, right, from the 14th to the 12th. Take a week off for Thanksgiving, so a couple weeks here, so 1, 2, 3 weeks for it, and it's a big project. So we're going to be working on it We've got lots of time to do it here. It should be a lot of fun. So that's the plan for the class. If you got any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. Always happy to chat, and look forward to it. Thanks, everybody.